Hey everyone! Welcome back to English Leap Podcast. I'm Jenny, and today we're tackling something that literally every English learner has asked me about.
And I'm Brian. Yeah, Jenny was just telling me what today's episode is about, and honestly, I'm really excited because this is something I notice all the time.
Right? Like we get messages constantly. People saying, I've been learning English for 5 years. I know thousands of words. My grammar is good, but native speakers still tell me my accent is strong. And they're frustrated because they don't know what's wrong.
Yeah, and here's the thing. It's usually not about knowing more. It's about fixing specific pronunciation mistakes that are making you sound less fluent than you actually are.
And that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. We're going to break down the 3 most common pronunciation mistakes that make English learners sound less fluent. And the crazy part is, most learners don't even realize they're making these mistakes.
Plus, we're going to show you exactly how to fix each one. Like you could literally start practicing these today and notice a difference in your fluency within a week or 2.
Because once you fix these 3 things, native speakers will immediately notice that you sound more fluent. It's not about having a perfect accent. It's about sounding natural and confident.
So let's dive in. Let's talk about these 3 pronunciation mistakes and how to fix them.
Okay, so the first pronunciation mistake that makes you sound less fluent is not understanding the schwa sound.
The schwa sound? What's that?
So the schwa sound is this neutral vowel sound that native English speakers use constantly. It sounds like and it's probably the most common vowel sound in English, but most learners never learn about it.
Where do you hear the schwa sound?
Okay, so in the word about, the first sound, that's a schwa. It sounds like about. Most learners say a about with a clear a sound, but native speakers say about, where the first part is just this neutral sound.
Oh, so it's a really subtle sound.
Exactly. It's subtle but super common. Like in the word around, the first a, that's a schwa. Around. In away, away. In because, where the first part is kind of a schwa-like sound.
But does this really affect how fluent someone sounds?
Yes, because native speakers' ears are so tuned to hearing schwa sounds. When learners pronounce every vowel clearly and distinctly, it sounds wrong to our ears. It sounds like you're reading from a script instead of speaking naturally.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. When a learner says a about with that clear a sound, it stands out. It sounds unnatural.
Right. And here's the thing. English has about 12 or 13 different vowel sounds, but the schwa is used so much because it's efficient. When you're speaking naturally and quickly, unstressed vowels become schwa.
So how do learners fix this?
First, they need to understand that in English, not all vowels are pronounced clearly. Stressed vowels are clear. Unstressed vowels become schwa. So when you're learning a new word, don't just learn what vowels are in the word, learn which syllables are stressed and which ones are unstressed.
And practice saying words with that schwa sound, like practice saying about, and really try to make the first part sound like instead of a.
Yeah, and listen to native speakers. Pay attention to which vowels become schwa. Your ear will start to pick up on the pattern naturally.
So basically, the more you use schwa in the right places, the more fluent you'll sound.
Absolutely, because you'll start sounding like how English is actually spoken, not how textbooks teach it.
Okay, so that's the first mistake, but here's the second one, and this is huge. It's about stress and rhythm.
What do you mean?
So every English word has a certain syllable that's stressed, and learners often either stress the wrong syllable or they stress all syllables equally.
Give me an example.
Okay, so the word photograph. The stress should be on the first syllable, photograph. But a lot of learners say photograph or photograph, where they stress different syllables or stress them all equally.
Right, and that changes how it sounds?
Completely. When you stress the wrong syllable, it sounds wrong to native speakers. Like they might still understand what you're saying, but something feels off. It's like you're not speaking English naturally.
But is it just about individual words, or does it affect the whole sentence?
It affects everything, because English is a stress-timed language, meaning we stress certain syllables and certain words in a sentence, and everything else gets shortened or reduced. So if you're not using the right stress pattern, your rhythm is off.
So it's not just about pronouncing words correctly, it's about the rhythm of the sentence.
Exactly. Like listen to how a native speaker says, I want to go to the store. We naturally emphasize certain words, I want to go to the store. But learners might say, I want to go to the store, with all words getting equal emphasis or with weird stress.
So how do you fix this?
You have to learn which syllable is stressed in each word. And then, when you're speaking, you have to emphasize that syllable. Make it longer, make it louder, make it higher pitched than the other syllables.
And you can use physical cues, like nod your head on the stressed syllable, or tap the table. It helps your body understand the rhythm.
Yeah, and once you get the stress right, suddenly your English sounds so much more fluent, because you're not just saying the words, you're saying them with the right rhythm.
So this is really about rhythm and musicality, not just individual sounds.
Exactly. English has a certain music to it, And when learners don't use the right stress pattern, it breaks that music.
Okay, so we've talked about schwa and stress, but the third mistake is honestly probably the biggest one, and it's about connected speech.
Connected speech again? We talked about this before.
Yeah, but it's so important for pronunciation specifically, because connected speech is how sounds actually change when native speakers talk.
What do you mean?
So, like the phrase, did you eat? A learner says, did, pause, you, pause, eat, 3 separate words with clear endings and beginnings.
Right.
Continuing, but a native speaker says, did ya eat or did ya eat? The D at the end of did and the Y at the beginning of you blend together. The U becomes really short, almost disappears. It's not 3 separate words, it's one connected phrase.
Oh, so the sounds literally merge?
Yes, and this is so common in natural English. When words come together, the sounds change. Some sounds disappear, some sounds merge. It's not about sloppy speech, it's about efficient, natural speech.
But does this really affect how fluent someone sounds?
Absolutely, because when learners don't use connected speech, they sound choppy and robotic, and that immediately makes them sound less fluent, even if their individual word pronunciation is perfect.
Can you give me more examples?
Sure. Wanta becomes wanna. Going to becomes gonna. Gotta go becomes almost one word. What are you doing becomes what you doing. The sounds blend and merge.
So learners who don't do this sound very formal and stiff.
Exactly. They sound like they're reading from a textbook instead of actually having a conversation, and native speakers immediately notice that.
So how do you teach this?
You have to listen to native speakers and pay attention to how words flow together. Notice which sounds disappear. Notice which sounds merge. Then practice saying the same phrases and try to match the flow.
And like you said before, practice saying whole phrases instead of individual words. Don't say did and you and eat separately. Say did ya eat as one smooth phrase.
Yes, and it feels weird at first because you're used to pronouncing words clearly and separately, but that's not how English actually works.
So fixing this is probably one of the fastest ways to sound more fluent.
For sure, because fluency is about smooth, connected speech. Once you start speaking with connected speech, people immediately perceive you as more fluent.
Okay, so we've covered 3 major pronunciation mistakes: schwa sounds, stress and rhythm, and connected speech. But how do these all work together?
So basically, fluent English has all 3 of these elements. Native speakers use schwa sounds for unstressed vowels. We stress the right syllables in words and sentences, and we connect our words together in smooth phrases.
So if a learner wants to improve their pronunciation and sound more fluent, where should they start?
I think the first step is listening. Really listening to how native speakers sound. Not studying, not translating. Just listening and paying attention to these 3 things.
And then practice imitating. Try to sound exactly like the native speaker you're listening to. Mimic the sounds, the stress, the rhythm, the flow.
And record yourself. Compare your recording to the native speakers. What's different? Are you using schwa? Are you stressing the right syllables? Are you connecting your words?
How long does it usually take to see improvement?
If someone focuses on this, they can notice improvement pretty quickly. Like within a week or 2 of conscious practice, people start sounding more fluent. But real mastery takes consistency over months.
But the key is that it is learnable. This isn't something that only native speakers can do. Any learner can fix these 3 things and sound significantly more fluent.
Absolutely. It's not about having a perfect American or British accent. It's about sounding natural and fluent, and that comes from fixing these 3 pronunciation issues.
You know, I want to share a story because it illustrates exactly what we're talking about.
Tell me.
So I worked with this student named Sarah who was from Japan. She had been studying English for 10 years. 10 years! She had taken classes, she had studied grammar, she knew so much vocabulary.
What was the problem?
When she would speak, she would say every single word very clearly and deliberately. Every syllable was pronounced distinctly. Every word was separate. She sounded like a walking dictionary.
Yeah, but did people understand her?
They understood the words, but when she would speak, people would kind of have this confused look. Like they understood what she was saying, but it felt strange, unnatural.
What did you do?
I told her the exact same things we're talking about today. I said, Sarah, you don't need to pronounce every word clearly. You need to sound natural. So I had her listen to podcasts and movies for like an hour a day.
And?
Within 2 weeks, she was already sounding so much more natural. She was using schwa sounds. She was stressing syllables correctly. She was connecting her words together. And people would comment, wow, your English sounds so much more fluent now.
But she didn't learn any new words?
No, she didn't learn new vocabulary. She didn't improve her grammar. She just changed how she was pronouncing things. And that made all the difference.
So it was all about these pronunciation mistakes we just talked about?
Exactly. She was making all 3 mistakes. She wasn't using schwa, her stress was off, she wasn't connecting words. Once she fixed those, her fluency jumped.
So this is a real, immediate thing that people can fix?
Yes, like you don't have to wait years. You can start fixing these things today and notice improvement within days.
So, okay, we've talked about these 3 mistakes, but let's give people some actual exercises they can do right now.
Alright, so for the schwa sound problem, pick a word that has an unstressed vowel, like about or around or because.
Say the word slowly, pronouncing every vowel clearly. About. Then say it naturally, where the first vowel becomes schwa. About. Do that 10 times and notice the difference.
For stress and rhythm, pick a word like photography or comfortable. Say it with stress on the first syllable. Pho-tog-ra-phi. Say it 10 times until it feels natural.
For connected speech, pick a phrase like did you eat, and practice saying it as one smooth phrase. Did you eat? Not 3 separate words, one phrase. Say it over and over until it flows naturally.
And here's the key. You have to do this every day, not just once. Pronunciation changes come from repetition and muscle memory.
And record yourself doing these exercises. Compare your pronunciation to a native speaker's. You'll start to hear the differences. Okay, so if there's one thing we want you to take away from today, it's this. Your pronunciation issues are fixable. These 3 mistakes are probably holding you back, and you can fix them.
It's not about having a perfect accent. It's about using schwa, stressing correctly, and connecting your words. Those 3 things make you sound fluent.
So this week, I want you to pick one of these mistakes. Just one. Focus on that. If you want to work on schwa, do the exercise we described. If you want to work on stress, do that exercise. If you want to work on connected speech, practice those phrases.
And I bet you'll notice a difference in your fluency within a few days, because these are concrete, fixable issues.
Thanks so much for listening to English Lead Podcast. We really appreciate your time and your commitment to improving your English. Keep practicing, and remember, you're closer to sounding fluent than you think.
And if you got value from this episode, please like and subscribe. Leave us a review. Tell us in the comments, which of these 3 pronunciation mistakes are you going to work on first?
Thanks for listening, everyone. We'll see you next time. Bye.